I thought it would be a really good use of time to press in again to the flood narrative, because this is a brilliant example of how we can use our tools of what the Bible is and how to read it in order to receive the message the biblical authors are trying to communicate. So there were a number of other flood narratives in the ancient Near East, and these essentially had the same message. The gods were fed up with humans. Humans were overpopulating the earth and they wanted to cull them. There was a flood hero who may have attracted the favour of one or one god, and that hero is protected often in an ark with animals, and the human race is sort of saved by the skin of our teeth. In direct contrast, we see the literary device that the biblical authors use when they communicate the flood narrative in Genesis actually gives the opposite message. I'm going to use a very simplistic reading of the flood narrative. I'm grateful for people like Gordon Wenham for showing me the literary device, the mirroring, the patterning, the echoing, the chiasmic structure by simply looking at the numbers in the Genesis 6 to 9 narrative. There's a 7-day period, a 7, a 40, 150, 150, 47 and 7. And that mirroring indicates the biblical authors want to communicate something at that hinge point is the central message of the narrative. And it is chapter 8, verse 1, but God remembered Noah. And again, this is common. All scholars recognise that as the hinge point in that narrative. So in direct contrast to those other ancient Near Eastern texts where the gods pretty much were fed up with humans and wanted to at least cull them, if not get rid of them, in this God is committed covenantally to never decreating the world through a flood again, to actually making a covenant with Noah and every living thing that he wants and will see through new creation. In other words, in the ancient Near East, the gods were essentially against humanity. But here we have a God who distinctly, radically and revolutionarily was for humanity, for Project Restoration Humanity, as his image bearers ruling on earth on his behalf.